Hello, Aleese Lightyear here, reporting live from Beijing nature. This is just going to be a random spur of the moment burst of a video all about the lifestyle fatigue that I am feeling now while living here in China. I read this article on Huffington Post all about what is lifestyle fatigue and ways to cope with it, and I just can't stop thinking about it. Let me read you a few quotes from the article so we are on the same page. Even though we're armed with COVID-19 vaccines and updated booster shots, the world is still largely in a different place compared with before the pandemic. This, experts say, can lead to a feeling of malaise or lifestyle fatigue. Lifestyle fatigue can be summed up as feeling stuck in a rut, and who hasn't felt at least stuck at some point in recent years? The concept can relate to feeling off, feeling down, or feeling tired, which are all things that fall into larger areas of mental health research. Where do I even begin? I'm just mentally exhausted of dealing with the constant changing COVID rules and regulations that sometimes I feel are very unnecessary. I mean, let's be real. Where else are they taking COVID tests every 3 days? I don't know. I honestly don't know, so let me know in the comments if you know of what country is still having lockdowns and still putting people in quarantine and is still testing people constantly and checking for their tests and vaccination status and all of these things. I mean, to be clear, this is not a critique on how this country is handling COVID. This is just me venting. This is just me venting because it doesn't matter how frustrated I am, because I still need to fall in line and do what I need to do to survive and just get through my day-to-day life. Like, if I just have a dumb moment and forget to take a COVID test and my results expire after 72 hours, I can't take the bus, I can't get into the subway, I can't go to work. When it comes to taking a COVID test, even though I'm tired of doing it, it is extremely easy because there is a COVID testing facility in my complex. I just need to leave my apartment building, walk past the tennis courts, and right in the middle of the complex where you take a COVID test for free. It's not a nose test, it's just a mouth swab, and you get your results in like 8 to 12 hours. It is very, very, very easy. But what is not easy is when I go to work the next day and the security guard at the gate of the school where I am the only foreign teacher needs to look at my COVID test and then verify my name via my passport and then call the office in the school to verify that I work there when I've been working there for a very long time and I am the only foreigner working there. And this happens on a regular basis like 3 times a week, and I'm there 4 days a week. So that doesn't feel good. And it also doesn't feel good when I talk to the Chinese teachers about it and they don't see the problem. The security guard has consistently made me late for class because he will make me stand out at the gate for like 20 to 30 minutes while he verifies all of this paperwork. I don't know if it's like early onset Alzheimer's dementia. I don't know if it's racism. I don't know if he's just fucking with me because he thinks it's funny. I don't know what it is, but guess what? Putting my picture downstairs in his little security office is not doing the trick, because all I gotta do is wear a different coat or put my hair in a ponytail, or wear different sunglasses. And he's like, Nisha Shea, who are you?
So there's something on my face.
So this adds to the exhaustion of all the things. And then if I decide to travel outside of Beijing, then the COVID stuff just gets even more complicated. From province to province and from city to city, the COVID regulations can be different. So when I leave Beijing, I need to research, screenshot, translate, figure out all of the COVID restrictions for where I'm going, and make sure that I'm on top of them and I know them inside out, just in case somebody tries to be like, no, you can't come in here because you don't have A, B, C, D. And I'm going to be like, well, actually, here's a screenshot of the blah, blah, blah that has blah, 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 and these are the rules, and blah, blah, blah. When I take a COVID test, my results appear in the Beijing Health Code app. It says how many days it's been since your last test, and it shows if you've been vaccinated and if you've been to some place that is a high-risk zone. But that Beijing Health Code app is not recognized when you travel outside of Beijing. So usually when you go to a new city, you need to scan a new QR code to open that city's health code app and then fill in a bunch of information. And sometimes that app will link up with your Beijing app, and sometimes it just won't. Because a lot of times these health code apps do not recognize foreign passport numbers. They only will recognize Chinese ID holder numbers, which, depending on where you're traveling to, maybe the people working in the airport or the security person, whoever is checking your QR code, maybe they're unaware that this app doesn't work for foreigners. So if you don't speak Chinese, you need to communicate with them via translator and explain this. And then they're going to ask, okay, we understand that it doesn't work, but where's your COVID test? And sometimes they will say, okay, the Beijing one is fine. Sometimes they won't. In my experience, most of the time they will not. And so you will need to have printed paper results of your negative status. That does not mean you can print a screenshot of your Beijing health code. What it means is you need to go to a hospital, take a COVID test, go back the next day, get the paper results that has the stamp of the hospital with all of your information and your negative test. And then the next day, within the next 72 hours, you fly out. That is what you show to the airport, to the hotel, to whomever. You don't always need to have the paper results. Sometimes the apps work perfectly as they should. Sometimes you can show your previous city's app when you land in a new city, and then you just need to take a COVID test immediately at the airport or train station when you land, and then that sometimes will update in that city or province's health code app. But to be on the super safe side and not have to deal with the stress of like, will it or won't it, always have the paper test. Especially if you have changed your passport number while you've been living in China, because that is another problem that I constantly face. I have had 3 passport numbers while living in China, and every time you change it, it just messes up everything because so many things are connected to that number. So a lot of times when I travel, the health codes never will work, and my test will never, and my COVID test will never update because for whatever reason, the wrong passport number is associated with it, which is a very complicated thing to have to explain to a little old security man who is just trying to do his job and is also having a hard time understanding how to use a translator app. So yeah, all of those things cause extreme exhaustion. I mean, can you even wrap your brain around all of the things that I just said? Yeah, it's a hassle. Another reason why I feel so fatigued is because I need a break from China, but I can't get one because the borders are closed and because flights to America cost, $4,000 one way. And why would I blow $8,000 to go home just to probably get COVID and then have to come back and be in a quarantine facility in China and go through all of the rigmarole? So yeah, that is always hanging over my head, that I haven't been home. I don't know when I'm going home. I want to go home, but I'm not trapped but I also don't want to spend all that money. I mean, one of the reasons I came here was to make money and to save money, and spending 8,000 US dollars just on flights, that is a massive chunk of the money that I've saved in China. So it's just not as easy as go home. So yes, I am working on an escape plan, if you will, when I feel like, okay, I am definitely fed up with living in this country. I don't want to do it anymore. I know the steps that I need to take to put myself in the best position possible going back to the US. But yeah, if you want to comment, just go back to your home country, then why don't you consider everything that I say and like write a real ass plan for what I can do. Well, my friends, it is time for me to go get some food, and then I need to go to tutoring. But I appreciate you so much for listening to me. Like, just talking to this camera and knowing that there's a whole bunch of you behind this lens who will be listening and watching and supporting me from afar really means a lot. I'm about to get hit by this car. I mean, she's just gonna keep backing up. You're just gonna keep backing up without honking or nothing? Let me move, man. Let me move before I really get hit. Anyway, thanks for watching. You know what it is. Aleese Lightyear, over and out.